Hello, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Leo the Lion. I'm your host, Leo, and welcome. Okay, I am so happy to have you here. I want to know, how have you been? How's life been going for you? How are you? How are you feeling? How are you doing? You know, sometimes it can be a little confusing and whether we're doing pretty good until we actually sit with ourselves and meditate on that feeling. I want to encourage you, when you wake up in the morning, just to get that blood pumping. Do 15 push-ups, 15 sit-ups or crunches, 15 jumping jacks, and then take a moment to sit and in prayer or in meditation, whichever one works better for you. Honestly, I encourage both. And empower yourself. I want you to say your affirmations every day. I am a leader. I am independent. I am riding with God. I am walking towards success. Okay? I love that. Well, today we're going to be talking about just showing up. Even when you're feeling low, there's so many ways to find that energy. If you can't give it to yourself in the morning, you can find it throughout your day. You just got to look for it. So there's just so many things to do in a day with only 24 hours. If you have kids, you got to take care of your kids. You got to take care of yourself. If you don't have kids, you probably have a bunch of errands that you've got to run. Plus, you got to work. Plus, you got to this and that and this and that, There's so many things to do. But when do you find time to show up for yourself? When do you find time to show up for your community? So how do you show up, though, if you are at a low energy? Well, honestly, that's the most important time to show up. You show up even when you don't want to. You show up even when you feel like you have nothing left. Now, I am a high advocate. I truly believe that as much as you need to be active, you also need to rest. And that shows in the cycle of life in our own bodies, the way we breathe. Our lungs, when we breathe in, our lungs are filling. And then when we breathe out, our lungs are collapsing. Is that the right word? In our heart too, our heart contracts and then it releases. And in those times of movement, there's a period of pause. There's action, there's rest. There's action, there's rest. And so when I'm telling you to show up, that's not in a way that's saying, go, 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 get up and go, get up and go. Even if you feel burnt out, go, 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 go. The society that we live in, it very much perpetuates that, makes you believe that you need to always be moving, always be doing something. And if you're resting, if you're taking time for yourself, then you're selfish. You're not doing enough. You're never going to be successful that way. When that's not true. I have to stress that that's not true, because showing up does not necessarily mean that you have to be active every day, second of your life. What it does mean is that you have to hold yourself accountable. You have to get up and reach for a success in your day, even if it's a small one, especially if it's a small one. That small step leads to another small step, leads to another small step. And before you know it, you've made 10 small steps. And out of 10 small steps, you look back and you've made a big leap. from 10 small steps. So that's why it's very important. It's very important to show up. So let's say, what if I'm afraid? What if I don't know what I'm doing and I'm afraid? What if I fail? What if I get rejected? Failure is not an option if you still show up. Let me tell you why. Because even if you fail, you still showed up, which puts you ahead of most of the people in this world who are not showing up for themselves. When you put in that extra step and you showed up for yourself, you did it because this is what you promised to yourself. Your failure, even though it didn't turn out the way you wanted it to be, was still a step towards success. Because you did the thing and you learned something new. Consistency is key. With new cosmic energy, there's a call for balance within, the balance of learning and sharing. What's a better way to share what you've learned than through podcasts? Now you can get started easy with Anchor. Anchor is a creation tool that you can use to record and edit for free from your phone. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so that you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can even make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything that you need to make a podcast in one place. You can download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started right now. And when you're showing up, make sure you're showing up as your whole authentic self. You don't want to show up as anybody else because you're not anyone else but yourself. Show up with the good and the bad. And that's what makes you relatable. You want to come with more positive energy, of course, yes. You want to come with the things that's going to keep you going, the things that's going to motivate you. But ultimately, if you're feeling like shit that day, if you're not feeling that great, acknowledge that within yourself. Acknowledge it and still show up for yourself. The things that you promised still come through for yourself. Because even in your lows, you're proving to yourself that nothing's going to stop you from getting to the highs. So let's take, for example, let me show you in my own example, okay? Right now, my living situation is kind of difficult. I don't have a stable, quiet space where I can record. As you guys notice, you hear cats in the background. You may hear a little waterfall. That's the water for the cats. You might even hear, little scratch sounds or something in the background. These are things that are out of my control. Am I going to let it stop me from showing up and providing value to you? No, I'm not. I'm still here. I'm still talking to you. This connection matters more than any outside noise that's distracting. You know what that noise is? That's the devil. That's the devil trying to tell you, no, things aren't perfect. Nothing's going to be perfect. I can't show up if I'm not perfect. You don't need to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. In fact, the fact that you show up even when things are not perfect makes you even more relatable. Way more relatable. So just show up. Just be here. Be present. Now, being present is being present with yourself, being present with your people, your community that's coming in and talking. Allow whatever that you can't control because it's out of your control. Don't fall into your emotions because of what is out of your control. All you can do is still provide what you promised to yourself. So there's often times when, We're just fucking tired. Maybe you didn't get a good sleep. Maybe your house is not as peaceful as you like it to be. For whatever reason that you're waking up tired, It happens. The first most important thing is that if you're waking up tired, you're not beating up on yourself like, why don't I ever have any energy? Fuck my life. That's not allowed here. No more beating on yourself. Okay? If you're not waking up with energy, there's plenty of reasons. Instead of saying, fuck my life, you want to find solutions for your life. We want to work every day towards a better, more peaceful, sleep sound life. I used to be the person that required 8 hours, 12 hours of sleep every day. Now I get 4 or 5 hours, 6 if I'm lucky. And honestly, I've never had this much energy. And it's all because not only did I change the environment that I was sleeping in, but I changed my mind around my sleeping schedule, around my daily activities, around the things that I was consuming, not only in my mouth, not only what I was eating, but visually what I was consuming for my mind, what I was thinking towards myself, what I was thinking towards others. So it's also very important when we're talking about showing up for yourself to first identify exactly what it is that you need, and then to give yourself exactly what it is that you need. You're the only one that can actually do that. You could look for it outside of yourself all you want. You can expect somebody else to give you what you need, but you're more likely than not going to find yourself disappointed, which just lowers your self-esteem and your worth. You have to hold yourself accountable. You have to see that for yourself. You have to be your own coach, boss. It's good to get help, but you also have to do the work yourself. Nobody's going to do it for you. So that's all I have for this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. If you enjoyed, please, I would love if you could just take a moment, stop and leave the podcast a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Or, if you're on Spotify, there's a question somewhere. Answer the question, my bro. And until next time, peace. If you like what you're hearing, make sure you subscribe to Leo the Lion so you get notified each time I post a new episode. Also, make sure you follow me, Leo, on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Double L Leo, the Double L Lion. If you'd like to join my community, where you're allowed to express yourself freely without judgment, you can find my Facebook group at Be Unique. That's BYOU Unique. Okay, see you there. All the links will be down in the description, so make sure you check that out. And until next time, I'm wishing you wellness, peace of mind, and a loving open heart. Bye.